Um, okay. Thank you, Leslie Garcia. My name is Matthew Dixon, and I'll be doing a reader interview for Daytripper by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Baya. And with that, my first question for you is, was for the book Daytripper, was this comic book panel speech bubble the best choice for this story, or was there a better format that they could have used for the story?
That's a really good question, actually. So it's both. It was a good idea that they used a comic book version, just because it gave us an idea of like what is actually happening in the book and like how to actually envision what's happening. And then there's a moment in class where Professor Bright showed us like what the colors mean before we read the book. So I think that's what also helped me further understand what's happening within the chapters. But also I think that if it was written in like in a novel format, if that makes sense, I think they could have given more of a thorough description of what's happening, and I think that would have been better in my opinion. What do you think?
Um, I like the comic book approach, because like I like comic books, so like I can relate, and it's easier to read. I feel like I could see the conversation because I
Mm-hmm.
could see the pictures and I could see the people talking.
Yeah.
So I feel like I like the comic book a little bit more because it was easier to digest. But
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why, like, oh, a novel format, you could get a lot more information that way. I can see where you're coming
Yeah, they could like thoroughly elucidate what's happening within like in each of every broad's dream or like death scenes, like so we can actually envision what's happening. But I agree with what you said that the comic book version was better as well, because I like how they actually give images on like what's happening. So it's like, oh wow, that actually happened to him in his dream, you know, instead of like actually instead of giving like our own instead of us visioning like what's happening, you know, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
from. You good? Speaking about the death, the author shows through their writing, of a man rediscovering himself. Was the death in between the story a good move by them, or was it like confusing?
I wouldn't say it was confusing. I would say that it would have been better, in my opinion, if they give like a background of his, like more of a background of his life, so we can know like what kind of person this person, what kind of person he was, and so we, I don't know. I just think it would have been better, in my opinion. Yeah. What do you think?
Um, I think like I had told you earlier, I feel like the deaths in between uh his story was like confusing, because like I didn't know like the first death, because I didn't know if it was like if this was like a dream, or if this was a
Mhm.
or if this was a like, what I'm saying, like it couldn't be like real to me, because like if you die the first time, you can't just revive yourself and then brought back. So I thought like he was just living like after his first death, I thought he was just living the rest of his life like
A dream.
in his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, that makes sense.
you know, like if it was real or not, I didn't know if this was like a story he was just figuratively telling, or like
Or if we're
I,
just like reading his dreams, you know?
yeah, exactly. I didn't know like what I was reading, honest. Okay, the third question I got is, when do you think Baez or Braha's life truly began?
I think that his life truly began when he began to realize the meaning of his own life, when he actually started to find a purpose of his life when he realized that, oh my goodness, I should have just done this instead of that, or um came to realization why this happened or why this happened, you know? What do you think?
Um, I feel like I feel like his life began like I guess I think his life began as soon as he stops instead he started living in the moment. So
Mhm.
whenever that whenever I guess as soon as he turned back to go talk to his talk to the girl, I think that's when his life began. But as soon as his life began, ironically his life ended. So like again, was it a dream? Was it a dream the whole time, or was he living it? So yeah, I think his life began when he finally started to allow himself to
To
enjoy.
live in the moment, to
Yeah,
enjoy.
enjoy what
Like
was.
there was a moment, no, when I interviewed you, you said that he was enjoying a moment of his life, and then boom, he died. You know, and
Uh,
that's like goes follows along to what you were saying, that it started when he started to enjoy his life and live his life how he wants. Yeah, yeah.
okay. The fourth question is, what does Braha's dying through the book symbolize in the story?
I think it symbolizes that you can't take life for granted at all because you don't know when it'll happen. You don't know how it will happen. And you need to value every moment in your life and cherish every person in your life because you don't know when will be the last time you'll see them.
I
Yeah.
feel
What do you think?
yeah, life. I feel like life is precious. Like you know what I'm saying. Seeing people die around me, especially now with COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, is like crazy. Like you know what I'm saying. Like a year ago, in 2019, heading into 2020, none of we might have heard of COVID overseas, but we
We
all
didn't think it would affect
yeah, it
us.
would be this big and effective our life. So yeah, it just tells you to cherish every moment.
Cherish everyone around you and
Because life
don't, yeah, like value life
like
in
too
every
short.
aspect. Yeah.
It's not worth um stressing over the little things. I feel like
Like don't hold grudges for too long. You know, forgive whoever hurt you in the past because you never know what will happen in life. Life is unexpected. The unexpected is expected. Is that the same? I don't know, but it's something like that.
no
I
why.
heard it on the show, and I'm like, that's true.
I feel it. I feel it. My fifth question is on page 35 and on page 80, Braha's dies, and it seems that he knows he dies. Does his death affect his decision going? Does his death affect his decision going forward? Like, does it impact? Does him dying impact his future thoughts?
Definitely. I think it definitely does affect his decisions going forward with his life or his dreams. Because I think as he continues to die in every chapter or so, it makes him realize like, wow, I need to value what is going on in my life. I need to enjoy everyone in my life because I don't know when this will happen again, or if this death is the last death that will happen, or if this is just a continuing and ongoing dream. You know?
I feel.
Yeah. What do you think?
Um, I think I think the deaths do affect his decision because my interpretation is I feel like after the first death, the rest of him thinking is a dream, and I feel like
Mhm.
if it is a dream, it's in his mind and only his mind alone. So yeah, I think every decision he made after the first death is um after the first death is his decision, and his death and even his second death is affected his further life.
Choices. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And the last question is, what do you what do you think the authors want you to get out of this story as a whole?
After I read the story, I think that what they wanted me as a reader to grasp from reading this novel is to not take life for granted at all, because you don't know when it'll be your last day. Like Frog didn't know when it would be his last day, even though like he continuously died, you know? And
Mhm.
it's like I think that he wants the readers to grasp to value your life and live it how you want it. Like if you want to do this but you're too scared, don't be scared, because you don't know when it'll be your last day. You don't know what will be your regret. They don't want you to regret things in your life, you know? What was I gonna say? My goodness, I lost my train of thought. Um to just overall live your life, because there was something that Miss Bright said in the beginning of reading this novel with the class, was that are you content for where you're in life right now? And I think that's what I grasped from the novel. It's like, am I content with where I'm at in my life? Um, will I be okay? Will I be content where my life ended? You know? Yeah.
I feel it.
What do you think?
Uh, I feel like the authors wanted us to get out of uh want us to get out of realizing life is very important, and death is unknown. Like I feel like we don't know when we're gonna die, we don't know how we're gonna die, but through our short life or long life, or what our life period, we have to just live and not be stressed and compacted in work or things that just cloud your mind and cloud your judgment. Just let life flow and um just let
Let it be.
just let it be and let your path unfold how it should.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that this novel is thought changing, because it changed my way of perceiving life and death. Definitely. Yeah, especially with like the question that Miss Bright asked, like, are you content with life? Like after that lecture, I was like, wow. Like,
It's deep.
wow.
Yeah, sure. I want to thank you, Leslie, for doing this for me. This has been the reader interview, Daytripper by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba, and thank you.
Thank you.